Good evening, everyone. Deepak here, and today is going to be my first session in mythology corner. And as a part of this session, I'm going to tell stories from mythologies and folklore from different countries and regions. And just to make it clear, there isn't going to be any kind of science and stuff that's going to be linked in anything that I'm going to say. So just think about this session as a story time, and think about me as your grandpa Deepak, who is going to come here every day and tell you some really good, cool, and amazing stories. Okay, so today I'm going to tell a story about Sun Wukong from Chinese mythology. So he's also often referred to as the Hanuman of Chinese mythology. Okay, so um, yeah, in the eastern part of China, there was a huge mountain in between the seas, and on top of the mountain there was a big boulder. So this boulder was being immersed in the cosmic energy from the space, and also the mystic energy from the mountain for a really long time, and also it's been exposed to the sunlight and moonlight without any disturbances. So what happened is, after many centuries, a massive stone egg emerged from the boulder. And during the Zhao dynasty time, a huge, stiff, strong breeze has hit the stone, and from the stone emerged a monkey, a really large monkey. So since it has been born from the stone, which was totally exposed to the pure cosmic energy, it has started walking and talking right even in minutes after being born from the stone. And also huge golden beams of lights have been emerged from its light, so much that it has irradiated the heaven itself. And the Jade Emperor, who is who is like the equivalent of Lord Indra in Hindu mythology, so he was a bit panicked from all this light. So he sent two of his servants to investigate the source of the light. So they've gone and investigated the light and said that it was coming from the eyes of a monkey who was born from the stone on that big mountain. And Jade Emperor thought it was no big of a deal, and he just forgot it. And that monkey started living with other monkeys on the mountain, eating the fruits and all. So as it grew up, one day they all went to the base of a waterfall. So a challenge has been proposed. Whoever climbs through the waterfall to the top of that cliff and finds the source of the waterfall will be declared as the Monkey King. So the monkey that has been born from the stone immediately leapt through the cliff and climbed the waterfall without any hesitation, and also found the source of the waterfall. The two being unharmed. And immediately after that, he was declared as the Monkey King. And they were living really happy. But after living a long time as a Monkey King, uh, the monkey feared. So he was scared of death because he loved his life more than anything else. So he wanted to have eternal life. So what does he want to do? So one of his advisors advised him about Buddhist monks who know about the secret of eternal life. So the Monkey King set out on a journey to find a Buddhist monk and then get to know the secret to the eternal life. So he has entered the human civilization, blended in, and after searching for 9 years, he came across a Buddhist monk, the revered Master Subodhi. So he immediately went to Master Subodhi and asked him to make him his disciple and tell him the secret to eternal life. So, being a Buddhist monk, he knew how this monkey has been born and also what his potential is. So he immediately took him in as a disciple and started training him. So under his tutelage, this monkey learned many things. He learned martial arts, medicine, science, mystic arts, and also the 72 methods of transformation. So which means he can shapeshift into anything. So even though he's a monkey, he can shapeshift into a man, into a lion, or even into a rock or a tree. And he has been given a name by the Buddhist monk, so which goes by the name Sun Wukong. And the sun in his name uh, refers to it. It means the enlightened one. So everything was going fine, but his period of time as a student of Master Subari came to an end when he turned into a pine tree in front of other students to show off his skills. So being angered by that, Subodhi has banished Wukong from his school, and also sworn to a secrecy that Wukong is not going to tell anybody that he is the student of Master Subodhi. So he went back to the his home, the mountain where he was born and grew up. But by the time he returned, he saw a demon king terrorizing the all of the monkeys on that mountain. So immediately he has made a huge army from his own body hairs and defeated the demon king. And immediately after that, Sun Wukong has started training all of the monkeys in martial arts and all. And also they have armed the monkeys with the weapons stolen from the forges of Aolai capital of Eastern China. But he needed a personal weapon of himself for himself. But every every man-made weapon seemed to be really lightweight to him, so it wasn't heavy enough. So he travel so he traveled to the Great Sea and to the the Dragon King of the Great Sea, and asked him for weapons. So he has shown him a big iron staff with golden clamps on both sides. It's also called as the golden clamp cudgel. So it weighs 9 tons. So it was like a perfect weight for Wukong. And did he know that when he lifted it up, it shrank to the size to the ideal size of it for him. So the specialty of this cudgel is that it can be manipulated into the size of a mountain and also to the size of a needle. So immediately after getting the perfect weapon for himself, he has terrorized the Dragon King and took the golden chainmail armor from the Dragon King's armory. And he has returned home. And while he was asleep, he got a dream. So the dream was he has been taken to the to Diu, the the realm of dead, which is also called as hell, by henchmen of the henchmen of the king of the hell. So immediately he started beating them all because it wasn't just a dream. His soul has been taken away. So he started fighting the henchmen of the king of hell, and soon he defeated them all. And being panicked by that, the king himself begged begged Wukong for mercy and told him to stop all the rampage. So Wukong ordered the king to give him the ledger where everyone's life histories will be recorded. So he has cut out his name and also the names of all the monkeys on the mountain. And that is when he became a real immortal. So before that, he learned an internal breathing technique from Master Subodhi, which granted him passive immortality. So now, being erased from the ledger of the hell, he has become a true immortal now. And there has been a huge complaints going to the Jade Emperor about the Wukong's rampages, from the Dragon King to Diu. So Jade Emperor was about to arrest and punish Sun Wukong, but the Eastern Star, who is like Narada in Hindu mythology, he said that he's born from the pure cosmic energy, so he can't be defeated that much easily. And also he has a lot of discipline that he is able to master the breathing technique to immortality which takes years of practice and all. So he gave the idea of uh, taking Wukong to heaven and giving him a position there. And the Jade Emperor accepted the idea of the eastern of the Evening Star, and the Evening Star has relayed this message to Wukong, and he has been given the post of Marshal of Heavenly Horses. So, which means he is a keeper of heaven's horses. So, being in that position for after some time, he realized that it's not the equivalent position to the higher gods in the heaven. So he immediately returned back to Earth because because he didn't like to be treated as servant. And after his return, every monkey on the mountain started celebrating that their king is back. So, being enraged by this, Jade Emperor has sent his whole army to to capture and arrest Wukong. But all of the army is no match for Wukong because he is just so strong. So, Wukong has been summoned to the heaven, and he has been offered a pleasure life in heaven. So he don't have to do any work, and he can have all the pleasures just as all other gods. But Jade Emperor thought that this can only lead to laziness and some other rampages in the future. So what he did is he has appointed Wukong to guard the immortal peaches. So the immortal peaches, in the sense, they grow and ripen once in thousands of years, and they have been grown up by Xiangmu. So Xiangmu is she is the queen of heaven. So and Sun Wukong has been ordered that he is not supposed to eat the peaches, but he can't resist the temptation of those tasty peaches, and he started eating them all. And after he ate all the ripened peaches, he fell asleep. And and that that night there was a feast for all of the gods in the heaven. So Chang Mu sent her servants to pluck the peaches for the feast, and they accidentally woke up Wukong. So he has interrogated about all of this, and they said that there was a feast for all of the gods in heaven. So he asked if he was invited, and they said no. So he got so angry that he was not invited for the feast. So he has immediately rampaged the whole jade palace, and ate up all of the immortal food that has been prepared for the gods, and also all of the immortal wines. And he has entered into the laboratory of Lao Tzu. So he is like the alchemy of heaven. So he made alchemically derived pills which grant immortality to anyone who consumes them. So Wukong consumed those pills, and now he has become a true immortal, like an equivalent to all of the gods. And he know that uh, all of the gods going to be enraged by his action. So he has immediately returned back to Earth. So the Jade Emperor sent a massive army to defeat him. But Wukong, along with all of his army, defeated the whole army of Jade Emperor. So Jade Emperor was left with no choice but to send Arlong Shen, his nephew. So he's like the second strongest to Jade Emperor, and he has been defeated, and he was punished with a death sentence. But no matter what kind of method they use, they couldn't kill Wukong because of all of the immortal wine, food, and also those pills he have consumed. So they made him invulnerable. They made him invulnerable to any of the damage. So they had to call Lord Buddha to help them. So on on uh, on the arrival of Buddha, Wukong started boasting about all of his skills, powers, and also how he has defeated the whole army of the Jade Emperor, and said that he's the true fit for the as the for the post of God of Heaven. So Buddha laughed and offered him a proposal. So he said that if you can escape from my, he asked him to jump into his hand. So Wukong did exactly what he said, and Buddha said that if you can escape from my hand, if you can jump out of my hand, you can. I will relieve you for all of the complaints that you have on you, and also I'm going to make you the god of heaven. So Wukong accepted the proposal, and he immediately jumped from Buddha's hand. So after jumping a long way, he saw five pillar-like things. So he thought that uh, those mark the end of the world. So he went there and wrote his name on one of the pillars as a proof that he has reached the ends of the world out of Buddha's hand. So he came back to Buddha and said that he has escaped from the hand. So Buddha laughed and said that you never even left my hand. So just check it for yourself. So he saw Wukong's name written on middle finger of Buddha's hands. So Wukong was so terrified and tried to escape from his hand again, but Buddha caught him and banished him from heaven. And he has been kept binded under a mountain, and he has been binded by the five elements of earth, and he is supposed to stay there until until gods forgive him. So, being in there for many centuries, he has been released by a Buddhist monk named Tang Zanzang, also known as Tripataka. So, for releasing him from his bondage, he has given him a proposal that he must protect Wukong must protect him in his journey to the western part of China. So Wukong accepted it, but the Buddhist monk have his doubts that Wukong is going to rebel against him. So what he did is he gave him a golden headband. So what it does is whenever he refuses to help to protect the monk, and if he doesn't do what the monk says, it will tighten itself, giving a massive headache to Wukong. So he took it and they started their journey to the west. So the second part, which is the journey to the west, I'm going to tell it in another session. So that's the end of the story.
అసలు where does it start from అన్నట్టుగా ఈ గ్రాండ్ పా ఎలా అయ్యావు మీ గ్రాండ్ పా నుంచా
ఆహా, లేదన్న అట్లా ఏం కాదు. అంటే ఏంటంటే లైక్ ఒక క్యూరియాసిటీ అనమాట. అంటే లైక్ ఇప్పుడు వరల్డ్ మొత్తంలోనే చాలా రిలీజియన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అండ్ అట్లాగే చాలా డిఫరెంట్ మైథాలజీస్ ఉన్నాయి, అండ్ అట్లాగే మొత్తం అన్ని చూసుకుంటే లక్షల్లో ఉంటారన్నమాట దేవుళ్ళందరూ కూడా. కొత్త హిందూ
కోట్లు
మైథాలజీ ఒకటే కాకుండా
కోట్లు
కోట్లు. సో ఇంకప్పుడు క్యూరియాసిటీ స్టార్ట్ అయిందనమాట. వేరే స్టోరీలు ఏమై ఉంటాయి అబ్బా, అవి ఎట్లాగుంటాయి అని చెప్పి. సో ఇంక
వావ్
అట్లాగా ఎప్పుడు ఏది తోస్తే అదనమాట. సో లైక్ ఒకసారి అసలు ఎర్త్ హ్యూమన్స్ ఎట్లా క్రియేట్ అయ్యారు అన్న దాని మీద చూశాను. సో ఒక్కో రిలీజన్లో ఒక్కోలాంటి స్టోరీ వచ్చింది. అండ్ అలాగే గాడ్స్ ఆఫ్ డెత్ ఒక్కొక్క మైథాలజీలో ఎవరెవరు ఉంటారని చెప్పి. సో ఇంకట్లా వాళ్ళ గురించి. సో ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఒక్కొక్కలాగా అట్లాగా.
గ్రేట్ అబ్సెషన్.
నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చేది ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎ గాడ్ అండ్ ఆల్సో నాట్ ఎ డీమన్, బట్ ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఫోక్ టేల్ అనమాట ఇన్ జపాన్. సో ఇట్స్ ఎ ఫోక్ లోర్, బట్ తనని గాడ్ కింద కన్సిడర్ చేస్తారనమాట. సో సో అంటే లైక్ స్టోరీస్ అన్నీ చూసుకుంటే కనుక దేర్ ఇస్ అ గుడ్ సైడ్ అండ్ ఆల్సో దేర్ ఇస్ అ బ్యాడ్ సైడ్.